Okay, so I'm using Adobe After Effects 2024, but you can pretty much use any version of Adobe After Effects. It will work fine. So first of all, what we want to do is to import all footage which is available in Resource tab to this class. So let's left mouse double click here and let's select all of this and click Import. Let's select it and drop it into this folder so we will keep things organized, and let's call it footage. So first thing which we want to do is to create new composition. Let's call this composition BG, which stands for background. Width we will set to 1080 and height to 1920. Call resolution basically a social media portrait profile. Frame rate is 30 frames per second and duration we can set to 15 seconds. So basically here are frames, seconds, minutes and hours, and click OK. So once we've created our background composition, we can now go to our footage folder and select this background and drop it in here. So as you can see, this video is horizontal, and to fix this, we can just simply select this layer here and press R on keyboard. And let's just flip it by rotating to 90 degrees. So let's set it to -90 and let's resize it. So to fit this composition, it should be like 50%. But in our case, if you will scroll through, you're gonna see the circle in which we would want to place our photo. And in our case, we would want to make it larger, so something like 72. So our photo would be a lot more easy to see. Okay, so we've resized our video and we can even color correct it a bit. So let's go to Effects and Presets panel. If you cannot see some of the panels which you can see on my screen, you can just simply go to Window and enable it from here. Basically, you can enable any panel which you can see on my screen. So in this case, Effects and Presets. Wait for it to load up and just type here curves. Select this curves effect and drop it onto our background. We can add a bit more contrast just by making this kind of curve. Basically, it will get this more punchier look and brighter colors, which could be more interesting if you want, or just disable this effect if you don't like it. Also, what we would want to do is to have the first photo of our speaker and then second photo later for our location, for example, or another speaker. And at the end, we would want to have a site or call to action like come see our event. So to do this, we want to remap the timing of this clip. As you can see now, it's 12 seconds long and it's a bit too much for us. So basically what we want to do is to right mouse click on it and go to time, enable time remapping. And now we can just find the moment where our circle fully appeared, just about here. It looks great. And we can just simply create a keyframe. And basically now if we will select these both keyframes and then move it over, we will speed up this part. So basically it starts a lot faster and we have this circle appeared here. We can even make it even faster at this moment of 1 second and 40 frames, set this keyframe. Also, we would want to speed up this part as well, like to 5 seconds, because we would want to have first logo appear. And by the way, if this now is represented in full resolution and we can change this to auto, so it would be easier on your computer. And now it's a lot more responsive, as you can see. So basically what we want is to have this first circle, then zoom in, and then second circle. And as you can see, after this zoom in animation, we still have this animation later. And we can fix this just by setting our time cursor directly on our last keyframe. You just hold shift on keyboard and just simply move your cursor onto this last keyframe. It will snap to it and then just left mouse click on this time, hold and drag it to the left. So we would see just, let's click once again. So we would see just this moment where this circle zoom in, and about here we will have a transition. Okay, so now we can just simply select this part, then also hold shift to snap it here, or just manually snap it to this moment of this keyframe. And last thing which we want to do, if we will press 0 on numpad, we would want to see a bit faster operation of this circle. so this is also easy to do, is basically pressing F9, which will make this part a bit faster and then slower at this point. But if we will press 0 numpad, you'll see that it will have this full stop and then it will go further. And this is not quite what we want. We don't want to have this full stop. So to fix this, we just want to go to Graph Editor and just simply make sure that you are here at Edit Value Graph in this menu. So your graph should look similar to mine, and select this keyframe. And basically we would want to have this like straight line, which basically makes this animation goes linear. And here we would want to have a bit faster motion by making this kind of line, and then it will go to the straight line as well. But what we did here, we did this animation a lot faster and then smooth transition till the end. So if we will go out from this graph editor and press 0 numpad, you should be able to see that we don't have any stops and it goes really smooth to this part of this video, which is exactly what we want. So now we would want to have another circle appear after this one. So just basically select it and press Ctrl D and move it over, just like here. We need to have this little overlap because here we can just press T at the beginning of this layer and create a keyframe for our opacity, which basically allows us to create a fade in animation. So we can set it to 0. As you can see, it makes it transparent. And here we would want to make it to 100%. And let's make sure that it's just about at the end on this first video. So if you will check it, you can see this transition and we can get the second photo appeared here. But this time we would want to stretch our animation. So let's press U on keyboard to see our time remapping, which we used before, and just extend this layer. And then we will just take this keyframe and spread it out. It will make this part of the animation slower, but now we will have this ending part where we would want to promote our site or write anything right here. But we can also use a bit more of this video, take this keyframe and make sure to place it just at the last keyframe. And once again, we can just move this animation just by clicking on this time frame and adding a bit more of this video. If you will drag it to the left, you can see that we have this animation and then we have even more animation after it, which we can use as a simple background for our text at the end. So as you can see, if you will push too far, it will just stop. So we need to find this moment just before it will stop, just like here, and release the leftmost button. So now we have this nice animation, then it goes, then it zooms in, and we have this really nice background for any text right here. So this is basically how we've created our background. And if you're interested where you can get more of these like backgrounds, which you can use for your projects and for your customers doing freelance work or just simply selling on your website, you can open this links text file, which is also included in the resource tab to this class, and find two links. This is for my website on gumroad.com, and this is the same product but on Skillshare. You can just follow any of these links. They will take you to this page, which is my site, where you can find the promo for all backgrounds which you can use for your stories. As you can see, it's a lot. It's like 33 motion graphics backgrounds. And also on Skillshare site, you can get the same product. And also by clicking here, you can check all of these backgrounds which you can get. The price is a bit high, just because you will get the license not only to use for your personal work, but you can also resell as a part of your projects, which you can create by following this class, which you are watching right now. So basically you can use any of these backgrounds, create your fun and interesting animations, and just resell them. This kind of licensing is unique because on sites like Envato Market, Motion Array, iStock, Adobe Stock, Shutterstock, and Pond5, and even countless others, you'll not get the same kind of licensing. You'll not be able to resell. But I provide this kind of licensing where you can just purchase one time and simply just resell this product unlimited number of times, which is pretty cool. And one of these backgrounds I've included for free in resource tab to this class, so we could practice on. And if you will purchase this product, as you can see, you'll find 33 motion backgrounds which you can use. They're all 4K, 120 frames per second, which can amplify your work and makes things easier to find the right background for you. Okay, so now we've created our background, and in the next video I'm going to show you how you can create a nice reveal animation for your photo. See you in the next video. Okay, so let's create our photo. We can basically go to project and create new composition, and let's call it photo placeholder. And let's also change the height to 1080. Basically it will be square, as you can see, 1080 by 1080, and click OK. And we can go to our footage folder and just simply select the photo which we will use. Basically you can drop at this moment any photo which you like. You can drop your own photo or video if you would want, and drop it here. Let's also press S on keyboard and resize it, so it will fill our composition. And now let's create the animation for this photo. We can just simply click here to create new composition. Let's call it animation photo, and change the height to 9020 so it will fill our story. So let's click OK, and now we can just drop our photo placeholder here, and we've used this circle here, so let's make our photo placeholder also as a circle. So basically what we want to do is to select it and then left mouse click on this rectangle tool, hold, and choose this ellipse tool. Once again, left mouse click and hold to be able to choose this ellipse tool. And then just simply select this photo placeholder here, left mouse double click on it, and it will create a perfect circle, which is exactly what we want. And now basically you can always swap in this photo placeholder composition any photo which you like to use this project which we are creating right now as a template, which is really handy. So I'm gonna go back to my animation photo and let's add a bit more animation to it so it would look nice. So to create the animation, we can just simply select this reveal animation which I have created earlier and drop it here, and let's take a look. As you can see, it's really simple animation of these blobs which cover the screen, and it's exactly what we want to have really nice animation. If you are interested how I created this kind of animation from scratch, just let me know in the discussion section under this class. Basically, drop a comment. Okay, so now when we have this kind of animation, we can just simply select our photo placeholder and left mouse click on this check matte pick whip and drag it to this reveal, just like this. If you cannot see this pick whip, you can just simply click on this toggle switches and nodes to make sure that you are seeing it, this track matte, and connect it just like this. If you're using older version of Adobe After Effects, you're gonna need to have this set to Luma Matte. In our case, it's set to Alpha Matte, as you can see, and we need to left mouse click on it to use as a Luma Matte, which basically means that from this reveal animation, it will take this bright pixels as where the photo should appear. So let's take a look how it looks. So now, as you can see, it just reveals all the bright pixels in our photo. And you maybe noticed that this photo is a bit too large, and we have this really nice animation, but no movement at all. So it's a good idea just basically to select this photo and press S on keyboard and create the animation. So let's set a keyframe here. So let me tell you what is keyframe. So to create a keyframe, we need to press S on keyboard to see the property, in our case scale, and click on this stopwatch. So we've created a keyframe. Keyframe is basically a point in time which remembers the value of certain property. In our case, this keyframe remembers this point in time, which is 2 seconds and 14 frames, and it remembered that the scale, the property scale, should be at 100%. And here at the beginning, we will set it to like 70. And basically, it created another keyframe. which remembered that here we've set it to 70 and here we've set it to 100%. And now After Effects will try to go from 70 to 100% through time, just like this. And this is basically creates this nice looking zoom in animation. And this is basically how animation works inside of Adobe After Effects. And by the way, let's save this project because Adobe After Effects can crash from time to time. So let's go to File, Save As, and I'm gonna save as class. And you can save it wherever you want on your computer. As you can see, it's second time where I recorded this video. Unfortunately, OBS didn't work well for me. Okay, so let's click Save. And by the way, I am trying this snipping tool as recording software. I hope it will not crash. Okay, so we've created this really nice animation, but we can do better. We can just select this keyframe and go to Graph Editor and simply press F9. If your graph editor doesn't look like mine, you can just simply click here and make sure that you've set it to Edit Value Graph. So now we can just select this keyframe and press F9 to see this handle, and then just drag it to the left just like this and exit this graph editor. Basically what it means, it will go faster at the beginning and really slow and nice up till the end. And we can stretch this animation a bit further to see how it looks. So let's press 0 numpad to see the preview. And now you can see this really nice looking animation. But we can make this animation even more complex. So let's select both of these layers and press Ctrl D to duplicate it and drop it this below. We can color code it with different color, for example, like orange, or maybe let's set it to yellow, and this one as well, because we would not use any colors for this reveal. And we will duplicate even more to introduce some really nice colors to make it look even more interesting. So let's select these both layers on the top and just move it like this. So it will start just a bit later. And as you can see, we'll get this more complex animation. But we have a little problem. As you can see, it doubles our photo and it's not quite what we want. So to fix this, it's pretty easy. We can just simply select this on top one and press U on keyboard and make sure to place your time cursor here after all of this scale animation and just remove all of these keyframes by selecting and press delete, or just simply click here and it also will remove all of the keyframes. So now it doesn't have any scale animation, but we can simply just select it and connect it to this layer. And if we will press S on keyboard, you can see that here we still have this animation. So basically now this layer will follow this animation and it will be perfect, and we will fix this issue of repeating photo. So now we have this really complex and nice looking animation, but without any issues. And we can make it even more interesting because, for example, if you would use a photo with less colors and you would want to introduce more colors, we can introduce with another copy of our animation. So let's select these top ones and press Ctrl D to duplicate and drag it below right here. And let's make it orange. So this will be a colored one. Let's set it to begin. Let's take all of these videos and move it further, just like this, so it will start sooner. Then select this photo placeholder and let's go to Effects and Presets. Once again, if you cannot see this Effects and Presets panel, go to Window and enable it from here. Let's type here for color gradient. Select it under Generate and drop it on this layer below. So with this effect, we can add really nice colors, which looks pretty nice. So let's change these colors. I'm gonna set this like to pinkish one, then this one to yellow one, and this to orange. And basically you can choose any colors which you like. I'm setting just a warmer colors, so it would be more in line with these colors which you can see on your photo. So basically you can choose the colors which you like and which represents your photo even better. And next thing which you can do is you can see that we're just getting colors but not the photo itself. And we can fix it also. So let's say that we want to see not only colors, but the photo itself, and it's easy to do. Just go to blending mode and change this to hard light. So now we can see our photo and our colors, which looks pretty nice. And as you can see, we're getting a lot of nice colors and then the original colors of our photo. And this is how we can create this really nice animation. And we can just select these bottom ones and create even more colors if we want. So let me quickly show you. You can just press Ctrl D to duplicate it and drop it below, just like this. And once again, we can select all of these and move it a bit. So this timing would be a bit off and we can get really nice colors. And these colors, we can change it to something else. For example, we can select this photo placeholder and change this to like purplish color, this to really dark purple, this maybe to even bluish one, and this to yellow. So this is how you can basically add even more variation to your colors if you want. And another thing which you can do, you can basically select this reveal and right mouse click on it and go to transform and flip horizontal. As you can see, it adds a bit more variation. It flipped our animation of the reveal and we can get even more motion in our logo reveal. So let's press 0 on numpad to see how it looks. And this is how basically you can get this animation. And if you pay attention, you can see that zoom in animation doesn't appear. This is really easy to fix. Basically on this layer, which is not parent to anything, you can press S on keyboard and just simply drag this keyframe to the beginning. And now we'll get this continuous motion of the scaling up and our final result. But we can make this look even better. Basically, we can just make this final scale a bit smaller, just like this. And let's make sure that it fits into our background circle in this one. So for this, we want to create another composition. So we can just go to File, New Composition. And let's call it Final Comp. Make sure that 1080 by 1920 and click OK. And here we would want to drop our background as well as our animation photo. And just drop it here and let's see how it looks. So as you can see, it fits really nicely, but if you would want to add a bit more interesting kind of look, I can show you how you can add a bit more details. So let's, for example, delete this animation photo here and go to animation photo here and add a bit more variation. And by the way, you can even change this look of these reveals. You can just select any of these reveals and here in effects and presets, type curves and drop it on this reveal, for example, orange one, and make this kind of curve. And as you can see, we can make some parts brighter to add a bit more variation and it looks even more interesting. The same goes to this one. You can drop these curves on top of this one and also add a little curve to get this really nice animation. So now it got even brighter and it looks nice. So what we can do right now, we can just select all of them, just select it one of them and press Ctrl A to select all of them and just press Ctrl Shift C, which basically will pre-compose. Basically it will put all of these layers into another composition. So let's call this all animation. And this composition will have all animation at once. So let's click OK. And as you can see, we have all animation as one composition, which is really handy because now we can add one more detail, which could really look more interesting. So for this, let's press Ctrl D to duplicate it. And this bottom one, we will press S on keyboard to make it bigger. And basically what I want to do is to create a little outline here. And it's really easy to do. You can just simply select this one and press Ctrl D once again. And by using this pick web under track matte, connect it to this on top or change this to alpha matte if you are using older version. In our case, it already uses alpha matte, but we want to invert it. So now as you can see, we're getting this really nice edge, which I was looking for, but we can make it even better just by selecting this all animation on top, press S on keyboard and just resize it. And you can make this edge as thick as you like. So now, as you can see, we are getting even more 3D-ish kind of look. And you can basically select both of them, press S on keyboard and resize it all together. And maybe let's resize it this even more to make it a bit tighter. And final effect which you can do, which also will make it even more interesting. It's really simple, but take a look. We can just simply select this layer on top and move it a bit further to offset this animation. And now, as you can see, we are getting even a more interesting kind of look because it goes a bit further apart and basically provides us with even more animation. And press 0 numpad to see how it looks. And this is how you can get this really nice result. You can even fit to comp, so it would be more visible. So let's take a look. So this is how easily you can create really nice animation. And if we will go to our final composition, we can go now to our project and select this animation photo and drop it in here. And we will get all of these nice looking animations. And now as you can see, we can even move it to the left, so it will start a bit sooner, just like this. And we will get this really nice animation with this background circle appearing, which provides us with a lot of colors and makes it look beautiful. And then we have this zoom out animation. It fades out way too slow. So we would want to have this fade out animation a bit earlier. So to do this, we can once again right mouse click on it and go to time, enable time remapping. And let's find, first of all, this part where this animation ended, just like here, create a keyframe. And then let's go here where this animation starts to fade out. And just before it starts to fade out, we need to create another keyframe. And let's see where it totally disappeared, just like here. And let's create another keyframe. This keyframe we can just simply delete. And let's cut it to this moment so we will not see any more of this. And now we can just simply move this fade out animation at the moment where we want. In my case, I would want to have it just here where this circle zooms out, and this will fade out also. And to make it look even more interesting, we can press S on keyboard to see the scale, and then just a bit later, when it fully disappeared, we can scale up like to 115. And let's take a look how it looks. We can see this zoom out animation, and we can even select this keyframe and press F9. So it will start a bit later, and we can even tweak it a bit. And we will have this really slight zoom in animation. We can make it even more noticeable. So let's set it to 133, for example, or 150. And you'll get even more noticeable zoom in animation. So you can play around to see what you like best. And if I'm gonna press 0 numpad, you can see that we have this really nice animation. And let's say that you would want to have here another photo. It's really easy to do. Let's just press U on keyboard to see where all of these animations ends. And let's cut this layer, just like this. And now let's duplicate this animation photo. Press Ctrl D, select it, and press Ctrl D to duplicate and move it over like here. And as you can see, now second animation starts right here. We can just tweak it and make it like this disappearing and this appearing right after that, which also looks pretty well. And let's take a look here. This should stay a bit longer, so let's extend it. Press U on keyboard and just extend it a bit, so it will timed perfectly with the second zoom out animation. And let's close it here. Okay, so we've created this animation, which times well here. And let's now add the ability to change the photo, because now it's sourcing. If we will open this and this, you can see that this still sourcing one photo. And we would want to have a duplication of this animation, so it would be completely separate and work on its own. So for this, you can just simply select this animation photo and press Ctrl D to duplicate. Make sure to duplicate here and not here, because here we are creating another new instance, which is not connected to this one. This is important. So let's select this animation here and select this animation photo to here, left mouse click, hold, drag, and press and hold Alt key on keyboard. This will allow us to swap this one with this one, and release, left mouse click on top of this animation photo. And as you can see, we've swapped our animation photo with animation photo 2, which is completely separate composition. And now we can just open it, and we need to do the same to these all animations. So let's select this all animation, Control D to duplicate, make sure to select all of them, just like this, and then select it here, left mouse click, hold Alt, and drop it, so it will swap it too. Also, we need to double click here to open it, and then we need to do this final time to all photo placeholder. So we need to create another photo placeholder for second photo. So let's press Ctrl D to duplicate, and also make sure to select all of these photo placeholders. Select this photo placeholder here, left mouse click, hold, drag, and hold Alt key to swap it here as well. So to check if it worked, we just need to open this photo placeholder too and swap it with different kind of photo. So for example, this one, press S on keyboard to resize it so it fit our screen just like this. And let's go to our final composition, which is right here. And let's see. And as you can see, we have this original photo here and this photo here as well. But now it works with another photo. So this is how you can basically transfer all of your animation which we've created to this new photo. And what is cool about this, that you can open this one composition and this one as well. And you can even change the colors here and make it completely different. For example, bluish, here like red, and here maybe like orange. And as you can see, now we're getting really different kind of colors, which may suit this photo better. So you can just adjust your colors to any photo which you like to this second one. And in this way, you'll get first with the first colors which you've created, which suits better to this photo. And this is second one with new colors which we just created, which is pretty cool and easy to customize. Just remember that in all animation, you can change colors here and also here to add even more variation if you want. Okay, so let's close all of these compositions because we don't need to see all of them. Basically, let's focus only on final comp, and let's close all of these and see our progress, which looks really nice. And now let's work on the cool text animation, which we can place it right here. And we can also add another one here, for example, for a date of our event or the name. So let's create a text animation. And exactly this we will do in the next video. See you in the next video. Okay, so let's create a text animation, which will be pretty easy to do. Basically, we'll use the same technique which I've used in this really nice burning effect. By the way, make sure to follow me here on Skillshare to not miss more upcoming classes. So we will use the same kind of technique which I've used in this class, which is also really looks nice, but we will not use this burning kind of effect, but we will take the technique from it to create more simpler and modern kind of look without extra effects. But if you are interested in this effect, feel free to find it on my Skillshare page. By the way, if you cannot see it, maybe it hides somewhere here, so you can check even other of my classes. And it should be or here under new classes this month or in logo animation section. So make sure to check all of these classes and see what you would want to learn. So let's use this technique, but in a much simpler way. By the way, the link to this tutorial is also included in this links text file, which is included in resource tab to this class. So basically this is for backgrounds, 2 links, and this is for this class, which I refer to, if you would want to learn this effect as well. Okay, so let's create a composition for our text. Let's click here to create new composition, and let's call it text placeholder and click OK. So we have our text placeholder composition, and now we can just simply click on this horizontal type tool. Let's click here to see a black background. And by the way, you can zoom in and hold spacebar to move around. And let's make sure that our text will be around here. So what you want to do is left mouse click, hold and drag just like this to make a text box where we can just type whatever text we want. In my case, I'm gonna type MJake class, And we can just select it and go to character and change to any font you want. In my case, I will leave at Averta. And maybe I'm gonna make it a bit bigger so it would be way easier to see. Or maybe a bit smaller, just like this. Okay, so to create this really nice effect, it's really easy to do. Just let's select this selection tool and let's go to Layer, New, Solid. Let's make sure that it's white and click OK. And let's call it Burn, because we will use a burn effect to reveal our text. And click OK. So now we need to go to Effects and Presets and type it here, Burn as well, and select this CC Burn Film. Drag and drop on this layer which we just created, and if we will scroll through, you're gonna see that we will create this really nice text reveal. So let's make sure to find this moment where it will just about to reveal our text, just about here. In my case, it's 27. And let's set our time cursor to the beginning, create a keyframe. And to see our keyframe, we can just press U on keyboard. And about here at 2 seconds, let's scroll through to make sure that it completely fills our text. And to make it reveal only text and not to see all of this action here, we can just simply select here at under track matte. Once again, click on toggle switches if you need to see track matte and connect this to burn layer. And now as you can see, we are getting this fade out animation, which is really cool, but we want fade in animation. So it's really easy to fix. You can just simply click here. It will invert this animation. And now we are revealing our text. So let's press 0 numpad to see the speed of it. It looks pretty cool, but you can always click here on random seed and press on up arrow to find the animation which you like. As you can see, if I'm changing the number here, we are getting different kind of animations. In my case, I like this one because it comes from the center and I see that it starts about here. So basically I can just simply create another keyframe and delete this keyframe and just move it to the beginning. So it will start just from beginning, just like this. So let's press 0 numpad. And now as you can see, we have this really nice reveal effect. We can make it like 2 seconds long. Okay, so now we've created this really nice text animation, but we can make it even more exciting just by selecting our text and pressing Ctrl Alt Home. And our anchor point jumped just in the center of our text, which is allow us to press S on keyboard and resize it from the center, which is exactly what we want. So let's create a keyframe right here at 2 seconds where we fully appeared our text. And here, let's set it maybe like to 75. So now we will have this animation and zoom in. Let's also select this keyframe and go to Graph Editor and press F9. And let's stretch it a bit just like this by this handle. Hold Shift. As you can see, I'm holding Shift. So it will go only horizontal and it will get us this fast movement at the start and then really slow and nice reveal at the end. And we can even move it further. So this slow down motion would be even slower. Okay, so it looks really nice. Let's go to Final Composition. Let's go to Project Panel and take this text placeholder and just drop it here. As you can see, it's not quite where we want, so we can just simply select it and move it down. If you will hold Shift, it will only move down or left to right. In our case, up and down is good for us. So let's move it like here and let's see how it looks. And now as you can see, we have this really nice reveal of our text. We can even scale it down if you want. Maybe let's make it a bit tighter so it would look more professional. And by the way, you can use arrow keys to adjust the position so it would be exactly where you want. And second trick which we can do to make it even more interesting, we can just simply duplicate this text, press S to scale it up. Let's make it a lot bigger and place it right here. We can, by the way, use this anchor point and move this anchor point just to the center of our text. So now when we are changing the scale, it will be direct in the center. Okay, so let's close it here. Let's choose the selection tool and let's duplicate one more time. And this time, let's use this alpha matte to reveal our text, just like this. And one cool trick which you can do, you can just simply click this invert button and you'll get this really nice kind of fading animation, which looks pretty cool. You can also go to Effects and Presets panel and type here curves. And let's apply this curves effect on top of this text placeholder. And we can adjust not the colors. So let's press Ctrl Z and let's go to alpha and boost the alpha channel. So this way we'll get this really nice kind of looking effect. So we'll get this like light sweep effect, which looks really nice. And if we will set to full, it would look a lot cleaner. By the way, to get even thinner lines here, you can just simply select it and press on these collapse icons. So to get this even thinner look. But we don't want to see it entirely all the time. So let's just take this text placeholder and press T on keyboard and create a keyframe. And later, when this animation is done, we can just simply, let's make sure that it's fully out. We can just go to 0, just like this, and select both of these keyframes and press F9. So now it not only goes with this really nice light sweep, which looks a lot more advanced, it also will fade out just like this, which also looks pretty cool. So let's go to auto. It will be a bit less quality, but when you will render, it will be at full and it will look really clean. But for now, let's use auto so it will pre-render faster. So now as you can see, we have this really nice text animation and it looks really, really nice. And even one cool thing which you can add is to add one more color so this text below would have even more dimension. So let's select this text placeholder and press Ctrl D to duplicate it. And let's make sure that all of these animations works well. And it will be better if we will not scale here. So let me quickly set my time cursor here and set it to 100% and delete all of these keyframes by clicking here, because it would be even much more flexible if we will add the scale animation here. So let's create another scale animation like we did before. I'm gonna set at 2 seconds here a keyframe. Here it would be smaller, but once again, make sure that this anchor point is here by using this pan behind tool, so it will scale from the center just like this. Make sure that we will connect all of these layers to this one, and then at the beginning we will set to lower scale like 70. And once again, select this keyframe, go to graph editor, press F9 and drag it like this as we did before. Why we've done this, it will give us the same kind of result, but now we can add even more variation. For example, we could make something more impressive like a parallax effect. For example, let's press S on keyboard to see the scale for this glimmer kind of effect, this one. I'm gonna select this selection tool, and let's say that here it will be this kind of scale as it was before, and by the end we can even scale it up. And as you can see, we have a problem, so let's press Ctrl Z and let's connect this to this layer, and this will fix this problem. So as you can see, now we can just scale it up. And also select this layer and press F9 and drag it like this, and now it will go with the different speed. We can even exaggerate this effect, and you'll see that it will go faster and add some variation. But it's not that impressive as to change the color of this text below. So let's go to Effects and Presets panel and type here Fill. Under Generate Fill, select it and drop it below. And now, as you can see, we can add this really nice color. Just because we've used a scaling animation here, now we can offset like this and add really nice cool effects. It would not work if we will have the scale animation right here, because we fixed this little thing and added this ability to add color. You can even duplicate one more time and move it further. And let's say you would want to get other color, for example, a bluish one, and move it even further, and this further as well. And in this case, as you can see, we can get really nice and different kind of colorization. But for this class, I'm gonna delete this blue one because I don't want to have too many colors. But by adding just one color, you'll get this really more professional and more interesting look. Let's also move all of these layers a bit further, so our text will appear a bit later, just like this. And as you can see, now we will have this problem where this reveal is fading out, but we still can see our text. So let's make sure to add the fade out animation. And this time we would want to use it not here in Final Comp, but we would need to go to text placeholder and just simply select our burn layer, press U on keyboard to see these keyframes, select them, and simply just press Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl V to paste, right mouse click on one of them, and go to time reverse keyframes. So basically it will make this fade out animation. And we can make it a bit faster if we want. And let's just make sure that it times well. It needs to be a bit faster. So let's make it faster. So now it fades out exactly as we want. And by the way, if you would want to preserve this kind of colors at the fading out portion of this video, because as you can see here, we have these colors and here we don't have these colors, we will need to fix this by selecting this fill effect, right mouse click on it. And it's even better would be to click here to solo this out and to see where it starts. So now right mouse click on it, go to time, enable time remapping, and just simply create a keyframe. And let's see this animation where it ends, and create another keyframe, and make sure to delete this last one. And also we would need to create another keyframe right here. So basically we will have this portion where nothing is happening, because now we can just simply stretch it and not mess up this kind of animation at the beginning. So if I'm gonna unsolo this layer, we can just time it well. So as you can see, we can add back this kind of red color, and we can even time it faster if we need. So something like this looks pretty nice. And you can always just select all of them and move around to time it well, or just simply here also speed up, and it also will do the trick. So it will time well. So now we have this really nice animation of the operation. And if you would want to change this color of this one, you can also apply the fill effect, just like this, and add different kind of color and basically change to whatever color you want, which is also gives you even more control over your template. And now we can repeat the same trick which we did with the photo. We can just simply make sure to cut all of these layers to see where all this animation ends. For this, you want to hold Alt key, set your time cursor here at the end of the animation, hold Alt key and close square bracket. You'll see it here, what I'm pressing. So once again, as you can see, I'm clicking Alt plus close square bracket. So this will cut to this moment. And this is really handy because now we can just simply color code it. Let's make it orange, for example, and then press Ctrl D to duplicate and drop it above and just move it right here. So now later we can time it with the second reveal. So for example, here, just make sure that it times well. As you can see here, we will need to time it better, but we will not make it this adjustment here. We just need to duplicate our text placeholder because now it's sourcing this animation and this animation, sourcing the same text placeholder. So basically, if I'm gonna change this text to something else, you're gonna see that it changed it here and here. So I'm gonna press Ctrl Z to undo this. And now let's duplicate here to repeat the same trick which we did with the photo placeholder. And just simply select all of these layers and select this one and these ones. Left mouse click, hold and drag. Hold Alt key on keyboard to swap it. And now as you can see, we've swapped it with the new composition. So now basically if we will double click here, we can just simply change to any other text, like follow me on Skillshare, like this. shameless plug. And as you can see, now we have this animation, but here it ends a bit too fast. So we can just find this moment where it should end and just go to text placeholder 2. Make sure that's the second one. Go to burn, press U on keyboard and just simply extend this animation so it would happen later. So now it almost works fine. And only thing which we need to change is to make sure that this one red layer is also works well. So for this we need to solo this layer and then press U on keyboard. As you can see, here is nothing happens. And what you need to do is to select this last keyframe and just simply left mouse click on these numbers and move it to the right until it fades out. And now we can just unsolo it and just select both of these keyframes and make sure that it will follow a bit later, so we would still have these colors. So something like this times well with this zoom in action. And here at the end we can have our site. So this is super easy to do. Just simply select it, press Ctrl D to duplicate and drag it on top, color code in different color so it would be easier to see, and just move it right here. And here we can just simply once again go to project panel, select this text placeholder, press Ctrl D to duplicate, select all of the blue layers, hold and drag, hold Alt key on keyboard and swap it. And basically now we can just open this text placeholder 3 and double click on this text and type another text which you'll want. So let's say on Skillshare. And this time we can even move it right here in this composition using this align panel. We can go to window and enable it from here, align, and basically it's much easier to align right in the center. And then press S on keyboard and make it bigger if you want. And let's see how it looks on the last frame. As you can see, it's still moved down because we've moved our text layer here. So let's fix this. Just make sure to select only this one, which is not parent to anything. Because if we will move this layer just like this, it will move all the animation, which is exactly what we want. One thing is different is that we've messed up with this one. It's easy to fix, just select it and just move it lower just like this. And to fix the issue where you can see that it goes not the right way, you just need to make sure that you've placed where you like it. Zoom out, select this pen behind tool, and make sure that this scaling animation will go from the center. So this is how you can fix this issue. And now as you can see, we have this really nice animation. And by the way, you can see that it goes not directly from the center. You can just select here and move it right here if you want to have this really centered look. And this is our final text. And once again, we can just simply select this burn and a bit extend it, or just simply delete this fade out animation because we don't really need a fade out animation on the next text. Or you can make it fade out. So I'm gonna press Ctrl Z and just make sure it will fade out by the end. So now it will appear and fade out. And you can basically type wherever you want, like your site.com, it will promote your site. And final thing which you can do, you can basically repeat this process with this one. You can just simply duplicate because we have done it before. I'm gonna do it a bit faster and I'm gonna select the selection tool and set it at the beginning because for this one, I just want to select this text layer and just place it on top right here. So in this way, we can type the name of our event. So let's duplicate this one more time, select these ones, left mouse click, hold Alt, swap it, and let's call it best event. So this is how you can get another text on top. And we can just make sure that it will appear a bit later. You can always change the colors so it will not look everything the same. And you can apply fill to this one as well and change to whatever color you want. Maybe let's go with white this time. And this we can change like maybe to bluish also. And this is how you can add the name of our event, our text, it will stay a bit, and we can once again extend it if you would want it to disappear with this second reveal. So let's press U on keyboard and simply just move this right here. So it will fade out right here. So this is how you can control how much you want this name of event stay on the screen. By the way, if you will press Ctrl Shift H, you can hide all of the lines to see how it looks. Now, as you can see, it looks pretty cool. And final thing which I would want to add is really nice little text below. Let's make it in the most easiest way. Let's just simply select this text tool and create a text box. And let's type like VFX classes, for example. And let's go to character panel and make it a lot smaller and maybe a white color. So with this second text, you can add a bit more variation. For example, this will be the name and this will be the title. For example, maybe like senior designer. And we can just align it right here and go to here, then go to animate, position, and let's move it up a bit. And then also let's add a property opacity. Let's set it to 0. Let's open range selector and create a keyframe. Let's set it to -100, move it over, then here 100. As you can see, we're getting this animation. And final thing which you can add is to go to advanced and set it to ramp up and easy height to -100%. It basically gets this really nice animation of the text. As you can see, it's really easy and fast to do. You can just adjust the timing and press F9 so it will go really slow and nice. So now we have our first text appearing here and then second text, which looks even more beautiful. And just make sure that we have fading animation as well. For this, you just need to press Ctrl D to duplicate this animation, and then just simply go to offset, move it right here, and let's go to advanced, and let's set it to ramp down. And also let's select these ones and time reverse keyframes. So basically it will make this animation. And if you will want to not go up, you can set it here under second animation, under this position to 60, which basically will make it go down. And let's time it well, so it will go with this animation of the circle. And this is really nice and clean animation. And what is cool about this, that it is really simple text animation. And let's press U on keyboard, see where it ends, Alt square bracket to cut it, this layer to this moment, and then just simply press Ctrl D to duplicate. And in this case, you can just use it one more time right here. And this time you don't need to duplicate it here in compositions. It is a separate instance and you can change to any text like this, and it will be not connected to this one. So now we have this really nice animation. And once again, we can extend it, press U on keyboard, move it over, and time it with this animation. Okay, so on this conclusion video, take a look what we've done. We just created a background, which we can swap with any kind of background. And if you will purchase one of the backgrounds which is linked in this text document, you'll be able just right mouse, double click here and simply choose. So let's select, for example, this one. You can just select these backgrounds and here as well, select it, hold Alt and swap it. And this is how you can easily get different kind of background. And let's go to final comp. And as you can see, you'll get this different kind of look, which is also looks great. And because we've created this as a template, we can always change to any other photo and simply you'll be able just quickly upload new photos here and here, change all of these texts which you created and create new invitation and also promote your site. By the way, you can always add a drop shadow effect just like this to increase the visibility of this text and duplicate this one more time just like this and you'll get a better visibility, which looks pretty cool. make sure to share your project. By the way, I have this really short class under 12 minutes, which you get really powerful result. And what I want to ask you is to submit your project. It's really cool, and I really appreciate when you share your results with me. I always give a feedback if you want and check your result, and I can help you with answering to all the questions which you might have. Also, make sure to follow me here on Skillshare. I have a lot of VFX classes, as you can see. You can click on See More and find the effect which you would want to learn. I have new classes this month. It is in this section. I have fundamentals to Adobe After Effects, which includes text animation and more simpler effects, logo animation, and even free AI tools, complex VFX, DaVinci Resolve, color grading and skin retouching, and even more. So make sure to share your project with me just by clicking here Projects and Resource and clicking on Submit Project. I'll be happy to see your result. And once again, make sure to follow me here on Skillshare to not miss my next class. Thank you for watching.